Nerd Soul.
Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, Nerd Soul Gaming Plus, a movie review of sorts for y'all. We gonna be getting into the what I call the Mortal Kombat movie, but it's the story mode, the cinematics that play out, and all that. But I have a awesome person with us to break this down, give us the analysis, if you will. I give the mic to Open Mind. What's up?
What's happening, Nerd Soul family? Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my
Yo,
bad. I had to, I'm sorry. I had
bruh.
to.
Yo, man, back in the day, if anybody was doing some kind of skills presentation and martial arts, that song was playing. And I'm just
Right.
letting y'all know
Boom,
that
boom,
song was
boom, 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 boom,
that
boom,
joint was
boom,
playing
boom, boom,
almost too much.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's the shit.
But
I'm sorry. I was cussing. Sorry for
but
that.
at the same time, it is a dope song. Like,
Oh, it's a classic, bro. Like
man,
when
that
you
joint
think
is
of Mortal
classic.
Kombat, when you yell the Mortal Kombat, in your mind, the song plays.
Yeah, it's
Like
like,
in your
come
head,
on,
the
bro.
song.
It's too perfect.
Like you
Um,
can't. It gives you your earbud. You know what I'm saying? Everybody listening right now, the song playing in your heads right now. Right now, it's in your head. Earbud.
mhm. So, before we get into the nitty gritty of the story, I want to know, from your perspective, how did you feel about the story mode of this game compared to the, MK9, 10, and 11, and of course the 11 aftermath, which is, kind of like part of it or whatever.
I say this overall before we get into too much detail. I don't understand it honestly.
Okay,
Now
okay.
I watched it and I watched it again, right? And I just don't. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't understand it. I get what happened, but I guess the ending was just so, you know, bland for me. Like the ending was bland. I didn't understand the ending. Like is Havoc gonna be the new Khan in Mortal Kombat 2? Like what's going on? Like I don't. Like, are we playing with timelines here? Like I don't get where did it happen to Chronica? Like I got questions. So really, I got questions. That's how I answer that. My answer to that question is I got questions.
Man, like the for me, I'm feeling like the cinematics, the effects, the graphics, the fight scenes, story wise, like I was all in because I like how they in the trailer they made it seem like, oh, okay, this everything starting over. Liu Kang's in charge, and then they like close to the end, they're like, psych, actually this is just one fragment that got broken off. There's other fragments of this. So I was just like, oh snap. So they basically made it to where they can go wherever they want with this. Because of course once you start playing with multiple dimensions, it because I mean, even though they're different timelines, it's just, timelines, the dimensions, it's kind of a similar thing. So I mean, once you start doing that, yo man,
So
it's
okay, so
endless.
since you said that, because that kind of answered the question that I had. One of the questions is the multiple timeline thing. So I'm gonna put it in terms of Netherrealm.
Hmm.
I think I think for to make things easier on themselves and to take pressure off themselves, they created this type of story so that they can do what they want to do going forward,
Yeah.
and they're not bound to the fans' tradition of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 11, and then continue on with these characters from last previous game. I think it's a genius move on Ed Boon and everybody that was involved to do that in that case. Since you said it like that, because I didn't see it from that perspective till you just said it, and now it makes so much more sense. But not
Yeah.
from a Mortal Kombat perspective, but from a Ed Boon perspective. Meaning, we're about tired of y'all trying to dictate to us what our game is going to be. So we're going to give y'all this game, and I actually think the game is incomplete, but I haven't really played it myself to say it's incomplete. I think story wise, They just left room for a sequel, of course, but I think they
Yeah.
left room so that they can do what they want to do in the sequel, and they're not bound to the fans' demand. You know.
Yeah, because with the way they did it now, they opened it up in a way where they can always have some kind of incursion from whatever villain they want it to be. And
Yep.
it can be whatever version of, Shao or Sindel or Jared or whoever they want it to be whenever. So story wise, it gives them a lot of freedom. And it gives us as fans a lot of different looks at, villains and, like Stung Lao and stuff like that, that gives us like these villain mashups where it's like, oh, okay, cool. I never thought about that before. So yeah,
Which
there's a
I'm all
lot of
for it.
meat on the bone for that.
I'm all for something like that because as we get older, man, it's easy to get set in your ways
Hmm.
and things. And I'm a person that I don't like looping. I don't like to loop. I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. I actually like
Hmm.
change and variety, and I have my monotony about me. I think everybody does. There's certain things that no matter what I'm gonna do every day. But if it's a game, I think we as fans, we as consumers should allow people to give us something different. Like
Yeah.
they'll give us something, and we'll get used to the thing that they gave us because it's like 3 or 4 years before they give us another one. And when part 2 or 3 comes out or whatever, everybody wants to complain about how the previous version was better than this. Everything was better yesterday.
Yeah,
But
the old one is always better.
here's what that says. You as a consumer, whatever you doing as far as if it's gaming, if it's a TV show, if it's a movie, a revamped, remake, a reboot, whatever. Why do you refuse to allow things to change? Why do you have to have it the same way? This is a rhetorical question that I'm asking to the listener and to the person who has the hard critique for everything, right? The other game didn't do this. This is like whatever angle you coming from. Why is it that something can't be different? Why can't we have something new? Why? Why do y'all want things to be the same? Just give me the same thing you had last time because that's what I'm used to. Like why won't you allow yourself to learn something new, do something different?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that about? And that's just a little rhetorical rant I wanted to have about just the whole thing. Like, I don't have a problem with the storyline. The storyline is great, even though it's changed a bit. But if you look out into the FGC, if you look out into the NRS community as Mortal Kombat is concerned, ain't nobody happy about nothing. They got a problem with everything, and their,
It's
and their
almost like
problem.
why y'all even buy it, man? Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's not that the thing that they're not really complaining about the gameplay per se. I mean, they got their little complaints about Serena and all the other stuff, but their complaints are the same type or category of complaints from every game, from Mortal
yeah,
Kombat, all the way to now. It's like, yo, y'all all sound the same. Mortal Kombat 11 is better than 1. Mortal Kombat X is better than 11. MK9 is better than 10. And blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but here's what y'all doing is there are people like you and I and the rest of us who welcome change. We welcome uh, branching off into a different direction on certain things. Why can't we have that? Why does the community have to be monkey see monkey do? Give me the same thing as last time, or I'm not gonna buy your product. I don't get that mentality. That hive mind is crazy.
it's
What is the hive doing? Well, if it ain't what the hive is doing, I ain't interested in it. Like, why I gotta join your hive mind? Why can't you have something different? Go ahead,
uh,
man.
it's saddening. Like it really is. But I wanna stop for a second and give a shout out to NetherRealm Studios for continuing to make Mortal Kombat stories better than Warner Brothers can on a live action screen.
I know, right?
Bruh,
This
I'm
is the
like, I'm
video game.
watching this. I'm like, yo. And I mean, we'll get into some of these characters in a second. I'm like, yo, why am I enjoying this more than the Mortal Kombat movie that came out from Warner Brothers. Like, bruh, y'all got all the Hollywood money and all that. Like, why y'all can't just do this?
I
Like,
think I can
or
answer
maybe
that.
or hire those writers. Be like, hey, after y'all write the game, then write us another movie. So because apparently y'all know what y'all doing and we don't. Like
I think I
this.
can answer that. And this is a speculative answer. This ain't definitive. I think the reason situations happen like that, where the video game is better than the movie, as far as voice acting or script writing or whatever, is because Hollywood, they they're very arrogant and pompous. Like they probably didn't even give Ed Boon any type of creative control. They just needed his permission and his signature on
Oh,
certain
okay.
paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's on set. Maybe he gives them a storyboard or some backstory on certain characters. But Ed Boon has no creative control over it.
Hmm.
Nor does any other. Nor did Capcom. You know, and it's like even Harada had some limited control over Tekken Bloodline, whatever, and that's why
Blood thinner.
yeah, Tekken Blood Thinner. That's why it was Gatorade instead of Tekken Blood Thinner, because Harada didn't really have as much input. Because what happens is you got this rich executive in Hollywood that wants to take a game, turn it into a movie.
Hmm.
But they give the face palm and the hand, they give the stiff arm to the people who created the game. I just need you to sign off on this. Here's some money. Shut up and give me license to do it. And I'm gonna tell a story from my perspective. And they hire writers who have who never mashed a button for Mortal Kombat, right? Never mashed a button for Mortal Kombat. Gonna tell us about Scorpion. Gonna tell us about Sub-Zero. And gonna tell us about this. What's his name? Kobe or the character, the main character.
Liu Kang.
No. The Mortal Kombat movie. The main character.
Oh, the guy they made up.
This guy
I
that they
forget.
just made up.
They made up that random character. I was like, what?
This dude, I can't think of his name right now. The first Mortal Kombat movie where he was the descendant of Scorpion or something, right? He's supposedly Scorpion's descendant. But that's not. There's nowhere, even in Mortal Kombat 1, where they retelling the story. There is nowhere in the Mortal Kombat history that says Scorpion had a descendant whose name is, I can't think of the boy's name, but the character's name in the movie. And that's going to be a character that we use and play with and do fatalities with, and that's Earthrealm's
Yeah.
champion and all that stuff. Like, Hollywood, what are y'all doing? But it's not Hollywood. This is normal. Ed Boon
Yeah.
did not have creative control over that movie. He got paid, and he gave some permission to do some things and sign some paperwork. He did not have no creative control over that script. But
As a
that's
matter of
every.
fact, that's kind of like a Warner Brothers thing because I remember I was covering one of the DC animated properties, and I was talking in an interview, talking to, I think it was either with Bruce Timm or the guy from Sliders that was doing Superman's voice. I can't remember his name right now, but um, he was like, "Well, the way the offices are set up, like the animation people, we're on our own, so like they kind of let us do whatever we want. So that's why like like the animated stories are like very reminiscent of the comic books, and not even where it follows the comic books perfectly, but you can recognize this character. Like this character acts in a way that you would expect this character to act because this is how Wonder Woman is, or this is how the Flash is, you know what I'm saying? So they were like, we're kind of left alone, so there isn't that the heavy-handed studio involvement when it comes to the animated projects. So basically to what you were saying, that might be it. The second they go to make something live action, they're like, we want all this control and we're going to change this and change that. And it's like, bruh, no, it's fine. It's already dope. Like, we already like it.
It's like that's just Hollywood for you, bro. Hollywood is arrogant, and they feel it's like, for example, that's why we're so upset as black people with the way they portray us on TV. It's always a white person writing a script for a black part. It's always a disconnected, suburban raised white person who has never been to the hood, was not raised in the hood, and don't even have no black friends. You got actually white friends that were raised in the
He
suburbs,
worked. He
but you
worked with a black guy one time.
maybe he worked with a black guy one time, and that black guy ain't from the hood. That black guy was too from the suburbs, and that guy, this particular writer in question, grew up in a household where his or her parents could afford to send them to a private school, to go to a college, to get a degree, to become a writer, to get to follow that path in their life. And you're gonna write stories because you have a college degree about a culture or community that you yourself don't know nothing about. And that story gets put into the desk of an executive. It turns into a movie. They hire the actors to play the part. The actors argue with the director on set because they changing the script on the fly. This is not how a black person would say that.
Yeah,
So they
they're
get
like,
to.
yo, black people don't do this.
But here's the thing though. Here's what I'm getting at. It's lazy. Because what they want to do is they'll hire a Denzel, they'll hire a Viola Davis, they'll hire a Jamie Foxx to do said black role, and they'll actually count on this such and such actor to educate them on any mistakes in the script and go ahead and ad lib that or change that on the fly because it saves them money and it allows them to employ a white writer instead of a black writer who can
And
tell you
they'll
the story
never
way
give
better.
that actor any writing credit either.
And they'll never give that actor any writing credit. They'll just like if the script is what it is, or Samuel L. Jackson, that's another black one. They'll let a respected black actor come to the set with the script already written and just make some script adjustments, but not rewrite the whole script. The script was still written from the mind of a white person who didn't grow up around black people or understand black culture outside of what's mainstream. And that is why that is Hollywood. That's across the board. Video games, comic books, that's what they do. They're so arrogant and think they know everything. I got a college degree or I got $1 billion in my pocket. So what do you know? And that's how they treat you. Even Ed Boon, who's a wealthy man, had no creative control over his own movie. So I think they paid Ed Boon enough to shut him up. I don't think Ed Boon approved of the movie because he saw it before we did. I think he disapproved, but I think he probably was a yes man just to get that check.
True that.
But truly did not approve of none of that. Was probably thought it was all corny and was like whatever, because they're not gonna trash me. They're gonna trash your movie, and I'm gonna get paid, and I'm still gonna put my game out, and I'm still gonna make money. So Ed Boon probably looked at it like a situation
I'm
where
still gonna get my cheese.
I'm still gonna get my cheese, and I'm still not gonna lose my Mortal Kombat fans. So this movie is trash, but I'm not gonna tell you it's trash because then if I say that, you're not gonna pay me. So I think Ed Boon was in a situation where he took the money and just stayed silent, probably secretly agree with us because he be clicking like on stuff people be saying, but he don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think that's just what it is, and this is all speculative. I don't have no proof of what I'm saying. I'm just thinking that we get what you said. The Mortal Kombat video game movie is better than the movie because the creators know how to tell their story. The creator of Mortal Kombat know how to tell the Mortal Kombat story.
Yeah, and this story is so like chock full of like the Mortal Kombat lore is beautiful. Like we got Earth Realm, we got Outworld, we got Nether Realm, we got different timelines. Like there's tons of stuff, and there's a lot of history that they've built upon, and they continue to build upon it. And it doesn't seem to be like breaking or cracking under the weight of its own success, at least on the video game side.
Right.
But with that said, I'm gonna go on and start off the characters I'm talking about. I'm gonna shout out Madame Bo. Madame Bo don't play. I send it to you straight up, yo. Madame Bo ain't no joke, man. Like Shorty got some skills. She said, she did say that she was training Raiden and Kung Lao, so look, homegirl has some skills.
Yeah, Madame Bo, she was a whole brutality in MK11. You could throw her at somebody, you threw her at you, and she just ripped your face off.
Yo, Madame Bo had skills. Yo, I gotta give her a props, and I like the fact that even at the end of the movie, she was like, "So, who's gonna pay this check?" Like, I love
And
she
don't
about
play
her
with me
money.
because you know she not. She will give you that work. Y'all get all of that smoke if y'all don't play that tab.
Yeah, you better pay that tab. She ain't
Hurry,
playing.
hurry up and buy.
Like,
She
oh
about to,
man.
all
But
fun and
yeah,
games over.
I love her. I love her as a character. Like it's cool to add in this story adds in comedic moments without being cheesy, and she's one of those where it's like she's has comedic moments and comedic aspects without being whack, and that plays out through this.
Hmm.
um One thing that I love about this, and I'll talk about these three together, is the characterization of the Lin Kuei.
Hmm.
um you have Bihan, you have
Kwai
Scorpion.
Yang,
I can't think of, yeah,
Kwai Yang. Yeah.
Kuai Liang and Tomas. And this is a story as old as time. You have two brothers in the wake of their father's death, or you have three brothers in the wake of their father's death. How should they carry on his legacy? And you just play it out through this story. So it's like it's it's a trope as old as time, but it's done so well with these three kind of figures. With Scorpion, Sub-Zero, you even got Smoke. They're all three together, and then we even get mention of Cyrex and Sector later on. The way they play these characters is so, like, the moment that, like, the vignette they get is so interesting, and to the point where I'm like, man, I could take a whole Lin Kuei, empire story on its own.
Hmm.
Like, like the whole thing with, like, Tomas, you're not blood, but you'll always be my brother, kind of thing. Like, that kind of stuff always transcends, and it's done in a very real, like, relatable way, and with dope fight scenes. Uh, like, I will say the fight scenes were awesome, but here I I found myself kind of torn between the whole Bihan part of being like, we're going to take the clan somewhere else. We're going to do something different. And Scorpion being like, no, we need to respect, what our father laid down. Because I do, on one hand, I am like, look, this is what our father set before us. It was great. It's a perfect foundation. We need to keep this going because Defenders of Earthrealm is a very important thing. Like, we know, like, we've met Liu Kang. Like, this is an important thing. This isn't something that's trivial. But I also understand wanting to say, like, yes, we did that, but it's time for us to move forward. This was, dad's dream, or this was mom's dream. But we need to live out our lives and our dreams.
Hmm.
But Sub-Zero is also kind of power hungry.
Kinda. Kinda.
Like, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a
But I
little.
mean,
Just
who
a
do you
little.
side with in a situation like that? Are you feeling more like Scorpion side, or do you at least understand a little bit of Sub-Zero's, like, hey, I don't want to be, I don't know if I'd use the term subservient to Liu Kang, but you don't want to just be a protector of Earth anymore.
No. I see both sides of the thing. In this storyline timeline, I actually understand where Sub Zero is coming from. I understand where General Shao is coming from.
Mm,
It yeah. He said, he said something to the effect. He said to the Sindel, better that than be Liu Kang's lapdog. Then you got Sub Zero basically saying, I don't want to be Liu Kang's lapdog. It's like you don't want nobody else telling your story for you, right?
yeah.
And there is a some level of I'm not making my own decisions, I'm not making my own choices type of realization. Once the story unfolds and everybody realizes who Liu Kang really is, everybody in his timeline, it's like, okay, and that's what Sindel asked him, like, should I bow to you, or like, what should I do? And he was like, nah, don't bow to me. I'm not a god like that. I mean, I'm a god, but I ain't somebody that you need to be worshiping. And it's like, so with that said, if Liu Kang himself doesn't deem himself to be someone divine. Because he said, I'm not
Yeah,
divine. Well, if you're not divine, then why do we need to do what you say? As far as Shao Kahn and Sub-Zero is concerned. I don't agree with evil, and I don't agree with world domination and going to war and killing innocent people. No. But a broke clock is right twice a day, and I've said this before. I said this on the Coreupt comic episode. Sometimes the villain is right. Okay, no, I'm
yeah.
not a villain. No, I don't cheer for the bad guys to win and dominate, and enslave, and be tyrants. What I'm saying is, in context, if a villain is saying something in the moment, they're not attacking anybody, they're not burning anything up, they're not oppressing anybody, they're just speaking. If they make a point, right? They have a point, and sometimes you as the hero need to listen to what the villain just said, because we wouldn't be here if the thing that the villain just said wasn't happening. I wouldn't be a villain if this wasn't going on. And you the
Mm,
hero trying to save somebody, but you gonna save this group and let this other group die, and you call yourself a hero. The villain is basically telling the hero that you're not really a hero, because you're deciding who lives and who dies. What's different? What's the difference between me and you? I'm a villain. I kill people. I decide who lives and who dies. You're the hero. You're saving that group and letting that group die. You're deciding who lives and who dies. What's the difference?
well, there is context in there, which I think Liu Kang should have given a long time ago to certain people. Like when he broke down and had to talk to Sindel about what was going on, that's something that he should have given the protectors of Earthrealm. Like he should have sat, all three of them down and been like, hey, because I mean, I can only guess that maybe their dad knew, maybe not. But he should have sat those three down and been like, look, here's the deal. This stuff has happened before, and this is why it's set up this way. I've made it this way so that hopefully the death and destruction that happened before will not repeat itself. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll be able to say, oh, okay, cool, we're not lapdogs. This is done because I died or you ended up losing an arm or such and such, and all these million people died. So, okay, we can understand now. But Liu Kang has been spending so much time trying to keep people in the dark, which I guess I kind of get that to a certain degree, but it works against you because these are not dumb people. Like, maybe, I mean, I'm not saying the whole world should know, but maybe the Lin Kuei and maybe like Sindel should know. And maybe that's it. I mean, of course, there's loose lips, but at least if Sindel knew, then she'd know to, keep a little eye on Shang Tsung, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know. Just keep a little eye on there. Send a little birdie down there to check on him every now and then. Because you're right. Sub-Zero, from his perspective, he's like, yo, I know something's going on. Like, we don't know the full truth. Something ain't right. And why are we just following him just because? Like, why are we resigned to just be the protectors of Earthrealm? And then, since it seems like it's been peace so long, it's like, well, what do we have to protect it for? Nothing ever happens. So it's like, why should we even protect Earthrealm? Because there's nothing to protect. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of get that side too, which is why a big part in this movie, I'm looking at Liu Kang like, bruh, why did you not say anything like years ago? At least to the important parties, like the Lin Kuei, maybe Raiden and Kung Lao, and Sindel. Maybe those I would have definitely let them in on it. And just like did some kind of magic thing so they couldn't tell anybody else. Like some special like magic secret or something like that. But back to the Lin Kuei thing, those is three brothers. I love that. I could watch that on its own, straight up, like easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think works extremely well in this story. Like even outside of that, another thing that I ended up liking that at first I didn't is the story with Johnny Cage and Kenshin.
You said you
Or
liked it or you didn't like it?
at first I didn't. At
Okay.
first I was like, this is kind of corny. I don't like Johnny Cage. I've never been a real big, big fan of Johnny Cage, and now putting them together, you know, he's annoying Kenshin and he's also annoying me. But now seeing them play off of each other for the full movie, well, and I mean I just call it a movie because I always watch it as a movie. Like same thing with like the Doom movie. Like when Doom comes out, I wait for all the scenes and stuff, but it plays off well. And we do see Cage once again because this is a new Cage. We see Cage change. Now, of course, at the end, he's still like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go and get this Hollywood money," but he's a much different man at the end of it, and he earns the respect of Kenshin and vice versa. And even with kind of giving him the Sento and like that respect level, they kind of become brothers in arms due to their station in life. And I ended up liking it way more than I thought. Now, I've never played as Kenshin in the game because the last Mortal Kombat I played was Mortal Kombat 3. So I've never played as Kenshin, but I love his character and his characterization, man. I thought Cage and Kenshin worked very well in this movie. Especially as part of one of the things where it was comedy without being cheesy. Like, like Cage walking around filming everything,
It's
making movie
kimchi, by the way.
references.
It's kimchi, by the way, not
Oh,
kimchi.
Kenshi?
Yeah, kimchi.
Oh, sorry. Apologies, y'all.
Shie. I know
All right,
because I
cool.
know somebody is grinding their teeth at you.
Oh,
They're
it's all good.
like,
Apologies, y'all. So Kenshi, got you. Got you.
yeah. But
But
Kimchi was my dude in MK9 and MKX, and then the tag battle in Mortal Kombat. It was a Mortal Kombat tag battle. So Kimchi always been my dude. Um, I actually loved this rendition of Kimchi, the Yakuza type of
mhm.
situation. You know what I'm saying? I forget what happened that made him lose his sight. What happened? How did he lose his sight in the story
Malina,
again?
when Malina kind of hulked out with the Tarkat disease, she
Hmm.
stabbed him in the eyes.
Okay, that's what happened. I couldn't remember what happened. So, and then with that said, Kenshi is Kenshi. It's a new. The Kenshi character didn't talk much. Right, he didn't have a whole lot to say. So he had a backstory. He had a purpose, and that was pretty much it. So we're getting more dialogue. This is the most dialogue we've gotten from Kenshi as a character just in Mortal Kombat. Period. Usually just
Yeah,
a
because in
character
the
that
other
has a.
movies, he was definitely way more silent.
Oh, he was very silent. He's a silent warrior. He, like I say, he has a purpose. He served his purpose and he died in MK11. Um, but like I said, I like this portrayal of him because it gives the character life. It gives him more than just purpose. He's like a mainstay. I expect to see Kenshi in Mortal Kombat too.
Yeah, definitely. And then the sword, the Sento, like how it responded to him once it was given to him to kind of like one return his sight and also kind of be that like spiritual strength and support. I was like, that's awesome because I didn't. I guess I didn't expect that because we didn't see anything special from the sword yet. But then also someone from that clan had to have the sword for it to happen. So like seeing that change in the sword and then even seeing how it affected Ermac was cool. Like just the lore that surrounds the different items and the different characters is, man, I straight love this. Like
Speaking of Ermac,
honestly, huh?
speaking of Ermac,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I like the fact that they made him Jared, King Jared.
Okay.
I like the fact that this Ermac is King Jared and not a character that's just a bunch of souls in a body.
Mm, okay.
Because Ermac is just Shang Tsung's creation. All Ermac really is is a walking uh, storage unit for Shang Tsung. Shang
Oh,
Tsung
so
has so
basically just a weapon for him, I guess.
yeah, like Shang Tsung. I would say I wouldn't say he created Ermac because that's not the right way to explain that. It's not that he created Ermac. It's just that Shang Tsung steals souls, and he's collected so many souls he couldn't keep them all in his inside of his body because he's still kind of a living human. So he can only hold so many souls, and that's why he had the soul well over there on the Shang Tsung's island. Because I think as he collects souls, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like a planet. It's like he collects souls, and as you collect them, it grows big. That green ball grows huge. So for a long time, Ermac was walking around was just like I said Shang Tsung. I meant to say Quan Chi.
Oh
Quan
yeah,
Chi
yeah.
created Ermac. I said Shang Tsung, but Quan Chi created Ermac for Shang Tsung so that Shang Tsung can store his souls. But that's Quan Chi's magic, right? Ermac is a conjuring of Quan Chi's magic. He created something to walk around and be the like the storage box for souls. So Ermac is not one person. Ermac is a bunch of souls in one body walking around like a sentinel. That's what Ermac is. He's a sentinel, right? He doesn't have
Okay.
a sentinel doesn't have a choice. They don't have their own individual, what I'm saying? It's just a walking sentinel or golem, wherever you want to call it. It's just
Okay.
yeah, that's what Ermac is essentially. Ermac is a golem or a sentinel, something that you program to do a thing. It doesn't have a personality. It's an artificial intelligence because it's so many different souls. There's no one individual soul that controls that body. You see what I'm saying? So this Ermac in Mortal Kombat 1 is not the Ermac that's the keeper, that's the all of the souls in one body. This is the dead, resurrected King Jared, Sindel's
Yeah,
husband.
because it definitely seems like, at least from how I got it, is it started as trying to be a weapon, but then somehow Jared was able to, I don't know, come to the forefront and kind of take control of the body, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. And like I said, that's pretty much what Ermac is. So I'm glad that Jared, King Jared, the elusive character that's always talked about in Mortal Kombat, but never actually a playable character. King Jared is basically a playable character because
And that's
he
what's
is
up.
Ermac.
I did want to take a quick break to drop in on something that I did not expect, which is how dope the fits in this game are.
Mhm.
I The fits is ultra fresh,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go back to Kenshi. There's this one outfit for Kenshi. It's later in the movie that you see, but he got like the suit on and the suit. Like, man, look, like my brother's mad cold. Even like everything they wear, even like the stuff like Fire God Liu Kang got the whole time. That's fresh. Man, like don't nobody look whack in this movie. Like all the Empress and like all the princesses and stuff, all their clothes is dope. Like the garments in this is on point. Like something that normally I wouldn't care about except watching the movie so much. I'm like, man, everybody's costuming is like on point. Like even when they're wearing the regular Shaolin monk stuff, it looks awesome. Like there's never a moment in this movie where somebody's wearing like bad clothes. I mean, unless it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? But everyone's character design is straight awesome in this, which just goes to, like it goes to how like good this game looks overall. Like, from the backgrounds, when you see like, you see the temple with like the beautiful trees and all that. You see when, Raiden first gets his powers, or first gets the amulet or whatever. Like all of this stuff, it goes together so well. Whereas I'm just continually impressed each and every single movie I saw. Like when MK9 came out, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Even though if you watch it now, the CGI, I mean, come on, man, it's an old game. And then
Right.
You look at number 10 and it's, it's a little bit better. And, of course, it's still an old game. Then MK11 drops. It's like, oh, snap, hold up. And now this one, the more I look at CGI stuff, I'm like, yo, man, look, on the real, we getting to the point. Like, if you just get some fire voice actors like this movie,
Yeah.
you might not even have to do live action like that no more. Like, you can save a lot of money.
Well, here's the
Especially when
thing.
it comes to car crashes and pyrotechnics and blowing up buildings,
I
you can
still
save a lot of
wouldn't.
money.
I still wouldn't do away with live action because if you think about it, somebody has to do the mocap for those fight scenes.
Well,
So if
true,
you're
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
so if you're gonna have people, you're gonna have. All right, so let's take a fight scene where the main character is fighting a bunch of NPCs. It's like this movie, right? There's a lot of fight scenes in this movie where there are NPCs are fighting the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's wearing a mocap suit playing that NPC, and it's not and you can't have one person doing all the fight scenes for every character because you're going to wear that person out. That individual has to come into the studio, put the blue mocap suit on, with all the cameras and bulbs sticking out of it. And they got to do all the kicks and punches, and in other words,
They have to have like different gaits as they walk and different mannerisms.
So it's best to have a team of mocaps, right? A team of people who know martial arts, know judo, kung fu, kickboxing, whatever they know.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have to choreograph this scene inside of a studio. Well, that's all stuntmen are. If you're going to hire stuntmen to come into a video game studio to do mocap for you, then just hire some actors to do a movie, because the actors aren't doing the fight scenes either. The stuntmen are. The stunt doubles and the stuntmen are doing the punches and the kicks and jumping through the glass and falling through the floor, and the actor is in a couple of scenes doing some punches and some kicks, but they're cutting to the stuntmen fighting. Most choreographed martial arts outside of, say, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Jason Statham, I guess now I wouldn't even say Wesley Snipes, because even Wesley Snipes didn't do all of his own stunts, even when he was a young man.
Yeah.
So most action movies, martial arts action movies, have stuntmen doing the fight scene. It's happening so fast you don't see it. You see the actor's face fighting.
Or sometimes you do see it and it's horrible.
And it's horrible. But sometimes you never see it because they put the actor's face on the stuntman's face. They put the digital technology on and put the actor's face on the face of the person doing the punches and the kicks, who's a stuntman, and they just didn't have time to cut that scene. So they just had the two doubles on set, the actor and the person dressed up like the actor. Don't look nothing like them in the face. A whole totally different face. But they doing that fight scene, they're filming it, and when they go to the editing room, they just put the actor's face on that person's face. It's just like Photoshop. It's almost like Photoshop. They Photoshop the actor's face on the stunt person's face, so you always see the actor fighting and not the stunt people fighting. Because back in the day, like you said, it would cut to the stunt person, and you would see the horrible cut, and it's like, that's not Eddie Murphy, or that's not Jackie, or whoever. That's not the actor. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a good example. Believe it or not, Arnold Schwarzenegger did not do all his own stunts. There was a bodybuilder who had Arnold Schwarzenegger's features in his face. He is Arnold Schwarzenegger's paid body double. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson got one too. When they cut to it back in the days in the 90s, they would cut to the stuff and you could see the obvious person that's not that person. But now with digital technology, you can still do the same thing. Hire the stunt actor and hire the actor, let them fight, and then go to the editing room and just put the actor's face on the stunt double. Let the actor do some light fight scenes, something light, where they're not exerting too much energy.
Yeah, they had to fall down those steps.
Yeah. And then let the stunt people do the rest of it, go to the edit room and clip it and edit it and put the actor's faces on every scene, every clip. So they don't have to really have bad cuts like that. Every scene is the actor's face on the person fighting. So I said all that to say, it's 3D animation or animation period isn't that good because they still need mocap. You can't have a good animated fight scene without a mocap. You can draw it all day you want, and you can upload assets into a software that has animated kicks and punches. Most, but if you want that realistic feel of a fight scene, you hire real humans. And if you're gonna bring them into the studio to put a mocap suit on, then just bring them to the set and shoot the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Both groups have to physically choreograph a fight, whether they do it in a mocap suit or they do it with a costume on in front of a camera. They still equally have to choreograph an actual punch and an actual kick. So if we're going to animate a 3D movie, you're going to need mocap. So do that as well as do the movie, is what I'm saying. They shouldn't do away with that business. It shouldn't be a situation where somebody loses a job or a profession goes out of business because something looks really, really good animated. You know what I'm saying?
It's just, Hollywood, you know how I be, man. They out here messing up Mortal Kombat. I'm like, look, just leave it to the pros. Nah.
Yeah.
but the reason I like this so much is because even things that normally weren't super highlight, like the royal family. So let's take the royal family for example. Normally, the royal family is like, hey, it's Sindel, she's evil, Marlena's evil, Kitana's good, the end. Like, don't ask no questions. It's usually like, Sindel, her and Shao, they're doing stuff, they're evil, but you don't really get into it as much as far as their family ties. And in this one, between 9, 10, 11, I think this one we see more of their collective loss concerning Jared instead of just Kitana being like, oh, my dad's gone, like nobody else caring.
I like that aspect about it too. I like the fact that there was more, and I'm gonna give it back to you in a minute.
No, go ahead.
I like the fact that Sindel wasn't made out to be this evil bee, and Mileena wasn't this evil bee, and Kitana wasn't this what's the word? Overly ambitious but yet reluctant princess. It was Princess Kitana for a long time. It was Princess Kitana. Well, now it's Princess Mileena. And Princess Milena's on the forefront. Kitana's the sister that's trying to look, that's not, in other words, Kitana is Mileena and Mileena is Kitana in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Anybody who know Mortal Kombat know what I just said makes sense. It makes sense to you if you know Mortal Kombat. In this story mode or in this movie, Mileena is Kitana and Kitana is Mileena, minus the evil part. But it's more like this: which sister has, who's the older sister for one, and for two, who has more heir to the throne? Mileena, because in previous renditions, Kitana was an only child. Mileena is a clone, created by Shang Tsung. But Kitana is an only child. She don't have a sister. You see what I'm saying? There is no twin sister Mileena. There is no sister. It's just Princess Kitana. So we got the story forcing these two to be sisters for real, because in that timeline, that's her clone. In the Mortal Kombat up until this point, she was her clone. But now that's her actual sister, meaning Sindel gave birth to these babies. They came out of her womb as twins. So, you know what I'm saying? And she loved her kids, and they had King Jared, the father, and all that stuff. I like the fact that they had love, and they actually told the story as a family unit. You know what I'm saying? Other than just a separated family that's just everybody evil, everybody trying to kill each other for the throne,
Yeah, I really dug that. And then seeing that the kind of like the Tarkatan disease or the disease of Tarkat or whatever, and how it kind of sort of how it started and how they're kind of hiding it from, the people, because of course how the disease is seen and how everybody's kind of shied away from them and, kind of pushed all those people with the disease out, out to the outskirts. So that's something that I thought was like really, really cool. Just having them, even having Tanya come in as like sort of like the sort of, I guess, hidden girlfriend, sort of, because I mean Kitana's she said I have eyes, so maybe I'm sure Sindel probably saw it too, but everyone else, didn't know. But even having Tanya, that kind of attitude in it, it showed that Melina was like it made them fully realized characters and not just, you know, not just this is evil girl number one and evil girl
Right.
number two or something like
That's
that.
all Melina ever been is just the evil girl. Melina really
Mhm.
never really had any actual ambition. She was just a clone.
Yeah.
Because think about it, Melina. Let's say Melina wins Mortal Kombat. What does she do really? What does she actually do? She just wants to terrorize Kitana. At the end of the day, all
Yeah.
she wants to do is just terror. She don't want the throne. She don't want to rule. She don't want no money. She don't want no man. You know what I'm saying? Like she just want to just irritate her. She lived to irritate her sister, and it's like, and now it gives Melina an identity, and that's so, and that's fine. She has an identity now. I had a question though, and I might have missed this.
Hmm.
How did Melina get cured of the Tarkatan disease? I must have missed that part, or I skipped
Well,
over it, or was
at
distracted.
least that I know of, I don't believe she was cured, but I might have missed that at the end. But that
At
I
the end,
know she
her
was
full face
getting the
is there. She don't have a
serum.
teeth.
She was getting the serum that Shang Tsung made from the bone marrow of Baraka.
So Baraka did. So when he died, that's it. He died in the story, and ain't gonna. That's it.
Well, did hold on.
Because I don't remember if Baraka died. I don't think he died.
Nah,
I didn't see
Baraka
it.
didn't die, but I don't think she was ever totally cured of it. I think she's just basically taking the serum over and over.
It's keeping the teeth from coming out. It's
Yeah,
keeping it from flaring up. I guess, so she can show her face without the teeth.
yeah.
Okay, because I was
So
wondering. Because
like
at
the
the end,
teeth come out, then she
they show
takes the
her talking.
serum, and it kind of like pushes it off or whatever.
Okay, because the reason I was asking because I was wondering like why how come Baraka never got the cure,
Yeah, now
or
that
was
the
he
only
just too
thing I
far
can
gone?
assume is he was probably, yeah, him and those people were too far gone.
Okay,
And speaking of Baraka, those side characters that got, love in this, in this story, like Baraka and Geras, those two characters got way more time in a good way
yeah,
than they've
everybody
ever
did though.
gotten. Yeah, like like seeing Baraka as not as a villain, or seeing Reptile not as a villain, but as these people that were kind of sort of pushed into where they were. Now, I will say one thing to learn from Reptile. Everyone, please listen in. Reptile's family had been dead. Even of course, Shang Tsung was like, "Yeah, I killed them a long time ago. I don't leave loose ends." And this is why you never follow the whole, if you don't do this, I'll kill your family. They're going to kill everyone anyway. All right.
Right.
They're bad. That's what they're going to do. They're going to kill everyone anyway. So do everything you can to stop them at that time, because they, they're going to kill everyone anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to leave you alive. They're not, like, there's not going to be a beautiful reunion later on. So that hurt. But seeing these two characters, even Baraka saying to Reptile, like, look, I'm his prisoner and you're his slave, like that, like I'm not mad at you for what you're doing, like, like none of us is here, neither of us is here because like we want to be. And I thought that was awesome, a cool way to take that character, like a cool direction to take that character in. Also, uh oh boy, I'll say real quick, the characters that I love to hate in this, normally I wouldn't remark upon Shang Tsung, and um I wouldn't remark upon Shang Tsung and Quan Chi this way. But these two together, it's so, the first shouts out to their voice acting. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are two characters that I love to hate in such a beautiful way. Like
So
when
I want to ask you this: were they evil or good? not the other timeline, but the current timeline, Shang Tsung, Quan, would you consider them evil or good?
I would consider them evil. They knew that they were killing people. They knew that they were like, you know, torturing people and experimenting on people, and they knew they were, plotting that coup with Shao behind Sindel's back. They're definitely evil. But but I do love when they're making the plan at the end, and uh I think Raiden comes up with the plan, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's such a beautiful plan. It's so beautiful and awesome." And he was like, "Stop it with your empty flattery." Oh man, that was because it's like those two together, man. You know what? It's like the two bad kids in school where you got to make sure they stay separate because you can't let them sit together because it's like a powder keg. It that man having them together was awesome. Of course, you need them. The plot doesn't move without their craziness, but even though they're bad, the voice acting from both of those characters and also their characterization on screen, I loved it. I really did.
Is
Like
the voice
even
actor
even
for
more than
Shang
Shao
Tsung the
Kahn.
same as
Well, I mean
the
he's not
same
a
as
Khan, just Shao, but
is the voice actor for Shang Tsung the same as 11?
no, I don't believe so. I don't think it's the same. Because
Okay,
since they went younger, I don't think it's the same actor.
okay, because it sounds like him. That's all.
Yeah, it that man, just they're kind of, I don't know, like the veil of arrogance as they speak and stuff like that type of stuff. Where I'm like, man, they are really doing an awesome job with these characters. Like they're able to come in and be like evil and slimy and all that stuff, and it works extremely well. So I did enjoy loving to hate them.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It's like, oh, Quan Chi has a prophecy. Like sure he does. Yeah, let me guess. Liu Kang's gonna kill everybody. Okay.
I ain't
Like,
seen no Quan Chi videos yet. Ain't nobody played with him yet.
oh, word? Nobody want to be Quan
Well,
Chi?
you know
Oh,
what?
dang.
I just realized that he can't play with him because the combat pack ain't out yet. So he ain't out yet.
Ah, word.
See him in the story, but you can't really play with him until he drops.
Okay, cool. Now I will say, as far as them, the whole storyline of them going to find out what Shang Tsung is doing and like come back, with more information and this and the third. My question is this, bruh, why in the world didn't Johnny Cage film them with that cell phone he been carrying around forever when they were like about to inject Melina with the serum? Cause I'm like, cause the whole time they were like, oh man, we have to tell Liu Kang. I'm like, well, they're like, we need proof. It's like, but you've been filming everything in the world. Now where your phone at? Like, come on, Johnny, man, dang. Johnny he be disappointing me sometimes. like, because I was like, yo, why you ain't filming this? I'm like, bruh, this is what we need you to break out the cell phone.
That's his
But
character.
like,
I'm never gonna play with Johnny Cage. I'm never gonna play with Johnny Cage.
yo, man, Johnny Cage. I'm trying to think. Did I ever play as Johnny Cage back in the
I've never
day?
played. I think everybody. I've played with everybody before that is Mortal Kombat, but Johnny Cage is not a character that for me.
Now,
I'm sorry.
what about the Van Damme? What about the Van Damme upgrade? You gonna play with
Um,
that?
it's the same. It's the same.
Oh, dang. Oh, he said Van Damme can't even save you.
Nah, bro. You can give if Johnny Cage. He plays a certain way. He's not a character that I actually never got a character. Johnny Cage.
Oh man, that's cold. That's cold. Oh,
He's listen. I don't have a problem with him being in the game. No, I don't hate the guy. Like I hate fighting him or nothing. I just don't care to play with the character. I don't go to practice mode to learn how to play with him. He's not a character that I want to mash a button for. I just don't.
From the man that gave us the term soul NATO though.
No. Johnny Cage
Oh
has always
man.
been a corny character to me. Corny in his personality, corny in his fighting style. Oh, he's gonna hit
Mm.
you. He's gonna hit you in the groin. You know, it's like, okay, all right. How many times you gonna hit people in the groin?
I mean, as long as it still work. No.
I mean, yeah, it's a move that works, but I feel like there's you can do. Mortal Kombat has so much more to offer than Johnny Cage. He's
Mm.
only gonna give you so much. He's gonna be limited into what he can do, and you're only playing with Johnny Cage because of nostalgia, right? Is he a good?
Oh man.
Is he a trash character? No, because people play with Johnny Cage and they main him and they win tournaments with him. He's not for me. He's not a character that I would take seriously. Even in
Mm.
even in this new Mortal Kombat, I'm not gonna play with Johnny Cage. I'm not. I've seen all his little gameplay videos. I've seen his character breakdown where they break down all his little setups. And it's a video dedicated to Johnny Cage, and I don't. I'm not impressed with what I see. I'm unimpressed.
Dang.
Like, okay, Johnny Cage can do that. All right. All that's telling me is what people are going to be spamming. They're not going to do anything creative with Johnny Cage. They're going to do that one thing that he does to get him hype and to do that move. So, with that said, that's all. He's a one-trick pony.
Mm.
He can't throw a fire. He can't throw a teleport. He can't. I mean, teleport. He can't throw a spear at you. He can't freeze you. He can't.
Dang. He said you.
Johnny Cage.
He said all y'all out there playing Johnny Cage, y'all limited. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, you're limiting yourselves.
Mm.
The other characters on the Mortal Kombat roster across all Mortal Kombats can do way more damage, and they're just cooler looking. The combos look better. The combos are easier to pull off. Johnny Cage is also a very hard to execute character for no reason at all. Johnny Cage is hard to execute. Right? He's not even a main character. He's not even an important character in the Mortal Kombat story. He's a part of the story, but he's not that important. They gave him his shine in Mortal Kombat 11. No, Mortal Kombat 10. No, was it 11?
No, I think it was 11.
11, yeah. Mortal Kombat 11 is when Johnny Cage is basically the main character. Him, Cassie Cage, and Sonya Blade, the three of them, and Shinnok's. You know, I'm glad that's over. I'm glad the Cage family
Oh
and
snap!
their
He said he
Shinnok.
want his whole family gone.
No, I don't want them gone. I just don't think that. I feel like Mortal Kombat 11 was wasted on the Cage family. Because I don't think that they were that important of a family. You got Johnny Cage, who married and divorced Sonya, and they had a kid. And their kid is the one who beat Shinnok. Okay, fine, great. And that's all I gotta say about it is great. That's it. I'm not. I don't
It's
like.
cold, man.
I just don't think. I feel like Jax and Jackie could have got some shine. They did, but I think they could have been given the air quote importance.
Okay,
right?
okay. Word up.
And I feel like Johnny Cage took over MK11 as far as the storyline is concerned. It's all kind of centered around Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage. You know, throughout the story, you got Johnny Cage talking to his younger self is in a different time. It's not a different timeline in Mortal Kombat 11. It's future and past.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11 is straight up future and past. It's not timeline. It's future and past. Future Johnny Cage, past Johnny Cage. Future Sonya, past Sonya.
Yeah, because I can't
Cassie.
remember. Was that 11 or 10? I can't remember.
10 was the Shinnok saga, or it was either 11. It was either 9 or 10, where Cassie Cage specifically kills Shinnok. That's canon. That's canonical.
Yeah.
Cassie Cage kills Shinnok, and then at the end, Johnny Cage and Sonya help her, and you know it's the family reunion, whatever. Okay, but that's just how
I'll get out the Cage family. I'll let the Cage family.
It's like Johnny Cage is, to me, it's not that important of a I think they gave him way too much importance, and he's just not that important.
All right, okay, okay. Now, when the team, the away team finally gets back to Liu Kang and they finally get back to Earth realm after doing their, recon mission. This dude tells them to relax and to rest and get some food. It's like, bruh, things done got real. What you talking about? Some rest? We ain't got no time to waste. Like, bruh, this is real stuff going on. Now, with that said, this movie gives us a moment between Kitana and Liu Kang that is beautiful. Finally, Kitana and Liu Kang, the original Kitana and Liu Kang, they meet, they share an embrace, and finally, you know what I'm saying? After all those years fighting side by side, they finally shared a romantic kiss. And I was like, good on you, Liu Kang. Good on you, Kitana, because y'all are separated by time, but love brought y'all back together. All right, maybe I'll go a little too far, but still. I mean, it was nice to see her say, "Oh, you're my Liu Kang," so you could see that she had that kind of, that fondness for him, which I thought was nice. It was a nice addition to the story, and then him assembling the Titans for the crazy, you know, final battle is something that I really dug in this story in general. Like the the awareness of him getting his powers, or restoring his powers, and then also bringing the Titans together is something that I think is awesome for this story, because you get like this knockdown, drag out kind of finale, but it also opens up the door for how many other timelines there can be due to how many people were at the end of Aftermath. Like how many people were there, and how much did this fabric of the original time split into? You know what I'm saying? And the bringing in the other Titans is just something that I think not only kind of spreads out the landscape of possible stories, but then also kind of gives us all an opportunity to say, "Oh snap, we can see this fire crazy battle of like climbing the steps, fighting along the way, all these different battles," which I thought was just incredible, and still enjoying the 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 mashup of all the different characters. This story just it comes through in so many ways, and on kind of like these, I guess you could say, Easter eggy kind of moments for Mortal Kombat fans. So I dug that. Bringing the Titans together was awesome. My question for you is, did you expect ending that large? And are you interested in seeing what Havoc has to bring for the next movie, or the next game, I guess you say?
I was not expecting to see old school Raiden or Fujin or none of the Titan. That shocked me. But what I'm confused about, like I said, I don't really know how to feel, because the credits rolled in after Havoc, and it's like Havoc, Tanya. You see Kenshi with just a bald head in a ponytail or mohawk or whatever.
Yeah, a little
But
mohawk.
that's Kenshi with like his he's got the sword on his back, and he's got the little monk pants on, but he's got on no shirt. And he's got a bald head with a mohawk.
He's been working out. He don't need no shirt.
Yeah, and he's got the blindfold on. So we're looking at the same characters from a different timeline. Right? And we're basically getting the same type of Mortal Kombat, where we have the remnant version of the character and the good version of the character. So I'm not digging Havoc being a Khan. I'm not digging Havoc. To me, Havoc is not charismatic enough to be a Khan. I just don't
Okay.
think it. I don't think. I don't think that should have been given to Happy. I just don't. I think if we're gonna play with cons of different timelines, because of course it's timeline. I think they should have gave that to, I don't know, who could have been a con. Okay, we had Shao Kahn, Kodo Khan. You could have made
Now,
Sindel a
is
con.
he a con or is he just one of those titans that has his own timeline?
I don't know, and I'm not. I don't. It wasn't confirmed that he was a con, but when he came out of that portal and walked down them steps, he has on a con garb. That's
True.
Havoc with a con helmet on.
True.
He looks like Kodo Khan, but it's Havoc Khan. Then it's Havoc. So I'm thinking that he's a con in his timeline. Havoc Khan. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. He has to be a con because
I
he's
mean, it's
wearing
better
the.
than Cage Con. So
Oh gosh,
when you said Cage Con, I was like, hold up, really?
I'm thinking they could have gave us a different con. Just Havoc.
Oh man,
I'm just not
I
feeling Havoc being the con. He's evil. Like, you know what? I got one. Rico. Rico could have been a great con.
okay,
Like
okay.
if you're just gonna pick somebody out of the new characters roster for this storyline to be the next con, right? Because we don't really have one in this game. There is no con in this game. It's just Sindel the Empress. There is no actual con in this Mortal Kombat. This is the first Mortal Kombat that doesn't have a con in it. Because you got Shao Kahn, Kodo Khan, so on like that. There is no con in this Mortal Kombat. There's no king. There's only an Empress, which is Sindel. That's it. There's the character roster right now. That's General Shao. That's not Shao Kahn, because he's not
Yeah,
a
you're
king.
right.
He's not the emperor. He's not Emperor Shao. Shao Kahn, Kahn, means king. Okay, you're the king. You're the emperor, right? And there is no Khan. There's only Empress Sindel. So they're giving us a Khan, making it Havoc. Okay, I just felt like they could have gave that to somebody else. Havoc. Okay. Honestly, that's another character that I didn't care for coming back. Like Havoc, really? But Havoc has his fan base. So Rico, cool.
Ain't
I'm
that
cool.
the Deception connection? I guess.
I don't know really remember where Havoc came from. I think Havoc was only in one Mortal Kombat game. That's it. I didn't play with him then. He wasn't a character that I used. So Havoc to me is just a character that a bunch of fans cried about and they got what they wanted. But how many of those people were legitimate? Like, how many of us got a say in that? Like, I didn't get no survey. Nobody asked me who I wanted in Mortal Kombat 1. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how he made it into the game. Havoc? Rico is a great, like, in other words, no Cabal, but you're gonna give me Havoc. Cabal to me is a cooler character than Havoc.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think Cabal is definitely a better character.
But he's not in this game, and he's probably not going to show up even in future DLC. I think Havoc is just not Havoc. I think Cabal is just not going to be in Mortal Kombat 1 at all. Even in Combat Pack 2 and 3, I don't think we're going to get Cabal at all. I don't think he's going to be in the game, period.
Okay.
We didn't even see Cabal in the storyline with multiple timelines. Now, this is a Mortal Kombat that brought back Titans and people of different timelines, where the story is the sands of time is branched off as sand is infinite. How many different grains of sand are there? That's the amount of timelines there are. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what the hourglass is. You mean to tell me y'all told 4 hours worth of Mortal Kombat and y'all didn't have a Cabal just cameo? And not cameo like character, just he could have been an NPC. You're telling a story of multiple timelines. Liu Kang altered the timeline with his thing. Cabal could have showed up just as an NPC, like y'all let Jackie Bridge get her head chopped off on the steps.
Yeah, you know what? I'll
Mortal
give you that.
Kombat 11 Jackie Bridge.
And then kill Jax like mad hardcore at the end.
Yes. Like you let
The only
Havoc
brother
drop the
y'all
little
let
ball.
survive was Geras, but I mean, I guess you know what I'm saying. I guess it's all we gonna get.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Like Cabal could have been, if not as a playable character, Cabal could have been part of this multi timeline story.
I guess
That
we gonna
tells
have
me
to
that
wait.
Cabal not going to be on the game. He's not even going to be in future DLC. Because even Takeda was in the story.
Mm,
Even Takeda was mentioned.
guess we just gonna have to wait. We just gonna have to wait until Coreupt come out to get a heroic brother. But
I know, right?
I'm gonna go on. There's tons of stuff to talk about in this game, but I know we've been holding y'all for a long time, so I'm gonna throw it over to Open Mind. Final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Final thoughts on the MK story movie. I actually give it a B, a solid B. No pluses, no minuses. I didn't hate it, but I didn't absolutely love it. However, I never played Mortal Kombat for the story anyway, but it's good to know the story because I like the lore. I've been playing Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 1 and not this one. Talk about the 30-year-old one. So I give it a B. It's not a storyline I'm gonna go back and revisit. I've seen it once. That's enough for me. I don't really care anymore. And I just think that I disagree with Havoc being a con. That's about all I really had an issue with in the story. I don't agree with that. I completely, vehemently disagree with Havoc being a con and or having any type of significance outside of just being a playable character that a few people are gonna play with and eventually stop playing with it over time. Because his limbs can come off. But y'all can find me Open Mind, spell it with a Y, on the X app. I am Open Mind on IG. And the Recap Fantasy Sports Podcast. Check us out every Saturday night, 9 p.m., where we gonna discuss football. And that's a wrap for me on the Mortal Kombat side.
I for me, my final thoughts is thank you, NRS. I love these movies because I'll be honest, I haven't played Mortal Kombat in a long time, and I can't play Mortal Kombat now because I got the little guy that always wants to see what's on my screen. So I
Right.
won't be able to play it. But after he's asleep, I will be able to watch these movies. And I have enjoyed MK9, 10, 11, and now, of course, MK1. I, man, it really comes through. I have a word for, I believe, Natara. Natara says that we can't help what we are, that we feed on blood doesn't make us evil. My answer is yes, that's true. It doesn't make you evil. The fact that you feed on human blood of people that are unsuspecting makes you evil. So, so,
Right.
so I mean, because you could, I mean, I've seen tons of vampire stuff. Y'all could eat, you know, y'all could ingest cow blood, pig blood, goat blood, anything like that. But or you could go, you know, rob blood banks and stuff like that. You don't have to take the random person that's walking down the street and then drain them dry. So I ain't trying to hear that. Also, I want to give a shout out to Astra. You know what I'm saying? Astra, you're out there cleansing your soul, trying to get your mind right, your spirit right. You know, good on you, girl. Good on you. So NERDSOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Until the next incursion, until the next time Quan Chi comes through and puts a spell on you or your whole family, or until the next time that a Khan hits you with a huge hammer. This is for me to you or us to you saying, peace.
Hey.